My name is Barton Damer. I'm the owner and founding artist of a studio called AlreadyBeenChewed.tv. AlreadyBeenChewed is a design, motion graphics, and 3D animation studio. We're working in all sorts of visual concepts for advertising as well as live events, product launches, campaigns for products, arena graphics, broadcast TV graphics, things like that. Our studio space is inspired by a few things. It's inspired by skateboard shops, sneaker stores, certain types of coffee shops, whether it's, some of the reclaimed wood and the metal for the conference rooms, kind of inspired by the old Chelsea Market building, all the way to some of the graffiti tags and bombs that are in the building. For me, it was really important that this space felt like an artistic studio where we are artists and we're basically painting on digital monitors. I've always liked the idea of feeling like we're in some sort of artistic space where you would expect people to be on canvases with paintbrushes. I personally believe that a brand is going to be much stronger if there's some sort of a home base. The right space and the right creative space is also going to set a standard and an expectation. As artists here at AlreadyBeenChewed, nobody's breathing down anyone's neck demanding that the work gets better. There's just a standard that's been set that gets followed. That expectation is just part of the brand versus a demand put among people. I think the space is something that motivates and inspires me, and then the hope is that others are motivated and inspired by it as well. So I think it's easy to see AlreadyBeenChewed where it's at now, 13 years into it, see the client list, see some of the work that we're doing, and maybe have no clue how you might go about doing something like that or feel like it's even obtainable. I feel the same way, to be honest. Like it's one day at a time. It was always more important to me to build this company off of what I don't want out of life. It's impossible for me to tell you what ABC would become today 13 years ago. But all the things that I don't want ABC to become 13 years ago are still true to this day. And that's really how I make the decisions around here. I can't project and tell you where ABC is going to be 5 years from now. Because, for instance, there's an NFT market. That NFT market didn't exist a year and a half ago or 2 years ago. I can't project and tell you where ABC is going to be 5 years from now. But I can tell you exactly where ABC is not going to be 5 years from now. And I feel like that's been a better strategy because where we are now, I never would have guessed that we could be doing what we're doing. I've never worked for a big studio before. I've never worked for a motion graphics studio before. I was broke, raising a family of 5, working at my church before I went and started working as a digital artist for Nike. They say dress for the job you want, not the job you have. I was always designing for the job I wanted, not the job that I had. So I would literally be designing sermon series graphics at my church, thinking about the sneakers that I would be designing for. Now that we are at 20 some people, I've been deciding how much more do we grow or not grow. It's a day-by-day decision. When we bring somebody on, I liken it to inviting them to a private party. We don't want egos that are going to ruin that party, personalities that might ruin that party. When we bring new people on, they need to appreciate what they are going to be a part of. I don't want to be the business owner that just lands a bunch of lame work, spinning cell phones for 90 seconds and having to churn out a ton of those videos and then finding a bunch of suckers to pull off the work that I just landed. That's not what's happening here. It's a joy and a privilege to be able to work with all of the people that are working here. The team's incredible, and personality-wise, when I'm bringing somebody on, I'm typically bringing them on not because I have an empty position, but because they're the right person. Having a team is one of the best things that it could be. For me to be able to go out as a freelance artist and start to build a company would be completely overwhelming had I even known or thought that it would turn into 20 employees. It's baby steps. And really the process of only being able to see one step in front of you is part of the fun of it. Motion graphics, 3D animation. The great part about an industry like this is that you can kind of jump in and learn it on your own. So I'm completely self-taught. And so that's kind of the beauty about, the state of this industry, is that it's always changing. You're always having to learn new things. And it really gives anybody an opportunity. And at the end of the day, it's going to come down to your drive and your motivation and your hard work. For me, having a family was a huge, motivating factor. I had a young family. I married my high school sweetheart a month out of college. I had 3 kids before I was 30 years old. I had to do something to provide for them. And for me, it was sitting down and learning to make these videos. In this day and age, it doesn't matter where you're located or what your age is. It's all going to be portfolio based. Like when somebody applies to work at ABC, I see an email to me, I see a link, and I click the link and I watch it. And if I like what I watched, then I actually read their email. And that's the order that it happens in. These days we have 20 people on staff. I don't even know who has a college degree. I just looked at their portfolio. And this is an industry where that can be done, which gives people incredible opportunities.